kwa on ka ho asem okay no see they no safo no ade ba kope enye ne de enye ne nika say obeka ho asem nti okakra say oka ne sa say ne be nipa ne say on ka ho asem waka or say it's quite clear say as a country the fundamentals of the economy kind of pass a week still are because fundamentals no kan ho asem ni nyina ne say a pecoin bia be fa so as on mine you be to be any the kind of economy self sufficient na mu nka be yempo yemu ne ekra ne ma no bebre sesa bebre kwa bruche ne nyeska at the moment as a nema ye use no be 70% is a crafty bruche nti emre bia no ema ye sika sem no ho ede because ye mfasidi ntoni ama mfiteki ana China ye the dollar nti say wo krado do dia na say tembia is o $1 then say ne no dollar no so be it say commodity is a unya cedi na dia kotobi as I went to media akokra on your man aba and that is becoming quite challenging tembre bi ema as ye sika no ho de kofem ko dollar no ho ye na na je say ne bo no e koso and that's what he's always meant by the fundamentals are quite weak in dealing with that then who be here say no matter do na ye kra no ye be sha say ye wa say be reduce kra na ye kra no nti aban we ba ye de one district one factory ayene ankrankra kabomu a ye and but I nyina ne say flag yi na ye kra if you abroach I sha say be ye wa say be ye nko piska dollar emfa nkokra nti ye gusu
before say sa na ma no be ye bibia no be betumi aye say betumi contain dollar
so say me ka ho asem ba okay nti ye gusu aye nti be kaya in fact between the year 2017 and 2020 we saw a lot of progress until Kofi Antwata 2021 ye benya challenges with global economic situation here and affecting nti enye hwekra no ya be 160 of these factories are about 106 of these are ongoing 101 be ongoing I think we have about 321 factories are ye ne ankrankra ka bomu ye see we are I say ni nyina akọ full streamer na je say normal na ye kandodo na be den e be ba fam na ama sika na ye dollar na ye pre ho no akofam na aboa na ye exchange rate sem na improve 70% of your challenges in your economy so my can tied to the currency
okay
and I explain to you bosumi bia on my way here close over $400 million for say they are to fu onko omo de emu eba embae omo de sichire eba embae omo kra niam bebre say de bomai mu nti omo nyina bosumi ni mu no yewure mu bia ekopɛ dollar no so yebegya bia je say niam ya de akwa abrochire ya discard
eba
but the other kono so endo so nti emre bia na dollar no hwan den ayena if at the moment anya hwe krampo no yetumi increase production in these industries na reduce dependence on sa niam ya kraya boy in so many ways but yenya yenwie
okay
you go so ayeye and you go through these economic challenges and also ababeji yemre nyina ye try see e be recover in doing that what we need to do is to look for other alternatives a bit to me my sika na sombo kakra
okay
and until Dr. Mahmoud Bamia proposed said no looking at where we are it is time you be back here in currency with your mineral resource especially gold evidence in say amaya omo to be back here on currency with gold in on currency no na what they was so in fact ade ba kwa pounds British pounds if in na number so be money is the most valuable currency it's because of the gold gold you be we akwa go bebre nti ade na yemu ayi tu ha no yemu yin to me for gold near the back here currency no nti ne proposal ne say ye be BBF and Minerals Development Bank the Minerals Development Bank ne be ya ne say ye be bank e be provide financing be provide sika directly ama small scale miners no enye illegal miners enye galamsey small scale miners no what happens now ne say Ghana for yan assassinate area but ikonya concession na ye ni scared be nti dia kopa abrofo boni ne ba ya 90% ye die 10 obetu ni nyina no this kind na dey akoko dr baumia say ye man Minerals Development Bank no emphasica no emma Ghana ni no nya concession no na Ghana ni na fa na ho den ye den entu onya egudie na ye de cedi ato e wo my way mu then they are building your reserves at the Bank of Ghana, they boosting your currency na day. So we catch will say on kind economy once we catch will say on the economy on coma. Yes, any pan of proposal on Shadan NTS. Near mammy, you know, involved. Either say Nipano and a down. And now I say no crepa on TSA. And that is what such platforms I may know we do will provide for us. Say, be my opportunity. Na yet to me, any Southway, it is also near church or near Mukakra. If we're able to build your industrial base, like we're doing, if you're able to back our currency with the gold, at Dr. Mahmoud Bamia proposing, you should be rest assured, say, yes, you cannot want in the bed, immediately, a city, I want the better. All these challenges we are seeing will go down because you see, dollar ne cost shunti, ama fuel prices na ye ton. Amana cost.
Na kame ba fuel prices gold for oil amfa.
No, so gold for oil made a lot of interventions. Okay. In fact, sankaye fuel ye toba Ghana nyina ye based on gold for oil. And we should be seeing some 50 to 60% reduction in what we are doing now. But you can agree say ye sha se enche. And yes, good for oil, no, so you to enough to be able to deal with all the oil need that you work as a mine. Okay. To go for oil, no, and provide intervention at some point. Maybe pipe when say you bet me 100% oil consumption I about mine on a butter trade. Okay. That would help us because it means that bosu minimum $400 million cash and koto gold. Gold now we to hana. One for $1 now they are not exchange for the oil so that it reduces the value of the dollar and our currency. So it's work in progress. And see, say Nipano proposes anyama way you know.
Yeah, can't let Ghana for say enya dia e bit me boom effective. Na mo be kakra ye kan.
Oh, ye kan we did.
Okay.
We did. We actually did. Until we kan po ye shares you know. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in one of his conversations said say ye share percentage ketua ya so good for your intervention yempa amayensa relief here. It means that you to me biem ne ko anim here e be to me aboa. Don't forget to say the good for oil no enye no nko a e be to me impact for prices. If the friend say global crude prices and no good for oil no into me and the good for oil no deals with the forex exchange aspect. But the world market prices like it's happening now it becomes a bit difficult. But ultimately, what is important is that you're abaya in the midst of crisis and difficulties. Which shows a kwanya made air faso any. So I just say, almost every time we are no o tweaking and kakra dan kakra. Ahamfa no what training say, ahamfa no what training say. I'm sure say based on your conversation across the country, a lot of Ghanaians seem to think that that's a better alternative. Dan abaya yenya difficulty kakra say me diampe bia mo yeme my bre my yo dwan funu me who strike hu diam baby a eyemasem ehia fo mana mo college nurses no maje mo allowances na fie mu nsem because ye niska samusi enu si na beto abetia me amuntu ntiabe so aja mrante na mo se mo pay dwuma no me magician na matumi akofa dwuma abre mo o pese o ye dwuma ko room na kwase bo begu kwa ho na ton ko twa grass na be hyehyɛ ye beto. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. If you 2020 you encounter challenges, we don't have to to film. Na share kwanya aban ya faswa on Ghana for it to me a dim common over the period. You'd realize there's a big difference between the MPP and the NDC, especially when it comes to how we manage crisis. Now, adeba meme na nakachere da or say Dennis kendini papa yen kan say we kendini awabe an obi odi ni penimu awabe an wunyo hawo. Nemum the work kendinia or ye papa. Any kendinia on ye papa and say, Papa no. So how ne ba or jitum so how na ba. No bob when you penny no. No, what's in it in a quino. Now, what say a quay bit to me and with him. Now ye to me, ye why then if him. Kendini born in India or honey buyer or some tete medodo. My bread. How
do you explain, say, a bit more cassette, President Mahama time now $1 is to 4 CD and up to 13, 14, 15 CDs. Better than why explain it?
You see, the facts, and they say it's not about baby akwadru. It's about the rate akwa. Any conditions a woman. Hey, no crap and say. And no, God any be a team be aware. Penny ba. ɔne yɛ kɔ efuo mu no a na yɛ kɔ efuo no mu ahemache no ɔde yɛ kɔ efuo mu no na ɛhan mu no ne yɛ kɔ nti anopa yi nyina ehu kwan no na yɛ kɔ bepɔ no obi ehu no di enim ne yɛ kɔ yɛ kɔ yɛ du kwansini kwan ne mfimfini wɔ sɛ ma brɛ mi ntumi nkɔ bio yɛ mbe mbia yɛ dɛ mi ntumi akɔ me na me kan so ma brɛ ma san mechi panin baako ɔno no ya twɛn sa de bɛkye ade yɛ nkyɛn so ɛsɛ yɛ kɔ nti esum kebi mu pa ino odi yɛ nim no ne yɛ dɛn ɛkɔ yɛ kɔ ya ɛne yɛ pa bebi ade odi kan de yɛ kɔ ɛhan mu di yɛ no yɛ pa ho ɛpa no ho kra bɛyɛ nsi ho mienu ne hu sɛ ɛnyɛ ade a asɛ yɛ kɔ ne ntentem sɛ ne yɛ dɛn yɛ pɛ no no but the difference between some people mienu ne sɛ ubisa ho sɛ dia na ɛhan wɔ hɔ na wontumi afo wontwa ɛkwan ne fampo no ɔno san bɛka kyerɛ sɛ o we no ɔka sɛ ɔdom bɛkɔ mu bi ɔdom duye aka bɛyɛ 2 kilometers ɔdom awie wo sɛ wogya masi hɔ me na me mentumi anyɛ even a quarter of the journey kra no momfa ma me de mo bɛkɔ how do you explain this Omampeni John Dramani Mahama, the fact of the matter is that his entire period as president, each of the economic indicators, Bakupo no want to me improve here, not even one. Or by now inflation was 8% or they call 15%. Not even one. Then this is for you say omo ba abai mu no na dollar na omo ka say omo di ja 4 cedi na you saying. Okay. It was $1 to 1 cedi. In see say oba be fa inflation. Now the fee 8 cedi call 15 cedis. That's a meme ba. Number 5 inflation from 15 no at the back to 8. That's a me encounter a challenge. Me anticipating, we want anticipating nobody in the world. And I expected that we'll go through that challenge in 2020. Now, a PI inflation no cost 54% in 2023. Now say, to me, not 2024, so no kasi. I see 54, I do 23%. How can a global why? And Ghana for to me energy way you must say you bet to me pure mine akonenim. TNU. One brain you don't have a single evidence. Say, what you mean PI economy challenges in the back not even one. In fact, who PI consume can be boom such a tree in Cofonio Meguye. In here from by Cosco, the allowance from Uji from Sim. Omo ye juma ese utu omo ka 12 months so skinny on to bet you omo 3 months there we stand on my way now but me buy no for 4 years I me buy be no me pia as how we nyina akofem me ma inflation now the call 15 me pia by 18 nkola na wo omo allowances no me sign them omo nkola na wo omo tire fie 2014 15 16 no me form adwubem obi o adwuma 1 year bi etua ne ka 1 year etua ne 3 months kania na wo dundum ne na nkofo nwumegu no top 4 okay. In the midst of that process, minya challenges no many ye nyina tra se ka se how abeni o niema mienu either say ye betu ye beka say nipa nwu se na ebesi bia no na ye protect your economy no and I say ye be decide say ye be bo enkwa ho ban na economy ni de dachi bi ye betu an den esiesie no okay say na do he had a choice. Nanado had a choice to protect the economic indicators. He had a choice to keep his eye on protecting the gains, but it was going to come at a cost. The cost was going to be about the death of human beings, citizens. And see, our COVID nearby, so we knew who I want to see. So what that would be, and who I want to see. But yeah, enough for yeah, do for actually one. The transient, I just say, Minyayanka, I'm down for not here. Even in the midst of 23% inflation, better than that. Today, because of that decision they could take here to protect our lives in India, PI inflation got 54% as of 2023, but 2023 no. Ye PI boho juma ye ho juma 54%, about 23%. You go so keka koyenim. Prediction say ye be do December no. Inflation about do 18%.
No, that's
15%. And I do 18% at the time I ever to about many women.
There's this question, and I'm a person because I say, how can a global challenge affect only Ghana? So now these are questions in Kwana.
First of all,
now other neighboring countries in the Okoa, inflation will form Cote d'Ivoire and one of my idea. It was true.
First of all, no, and you know, Chris, global economy to affect Ghana and I met change me breaking it down my cascade. So the first class countries now you say you to me for home to America, Asia, UK near there no. They've even been hit even worse than us. US, experiencing the highest inflation they've seen in 40 years. So you're aware?
Yeah.
UK, experiencing the highest inflation they've seen in 40 years. In fact, UK problem no crowd here. Are you Howard to the extent say in the year 2022, almost as prime ministers 3 times in 6 months.
Sure.
So okay. Sure. And it was obvious. It was because of the economic challenges. Germany, it drew baby no. Na brodu krombe to kwa no munye bi nto. Oyo eni esam no munye bi no mato no makwakoye den akwakodi. So it is not true. Say Ghana nkwa na affect him. Of a friend say studio ha. Niema e was studio e bu be 80%. Likely say a crafty Turkey.
It's more than that,
and Asia. Turkey for inflation in the year 2022. Ekwaya kopem 80%. 80%. So the first class countries, it's not true. Say it didn't affect the economy. China is shut down for 4 years. In fact, as we speak, Africa no more open up to the world. A lot of the Asian countries almost cut your production. Ghana, Ivory Coast, their inflation used to be about 1%, 2%. Yes. Okay. It is a Nippon inflation 1%, 2%. And about 6%. You see, less than all the no. Then this I want to say, how much
increase yako. Okay.
Until you don't go and pick Ivory Coast for inflation. Now I'm picking Togo inflation and I say Ivory Coast inflation here 6%. And now they are 23%. Until no economy no, it didn't affect them. It's not true. What you should go and ask is that before 2020, now Ivory Coast inflation no, they are saying. And na ene saying. Before 2020, na Togo inflation and they are saying. And na ene saying. That is how you would analyze the situation. So that assertion is completely false. Every country in the world is struggling. UTA, a friend is saying Biden and Trump debate.
Yes.
It was obvious.
Yes.
In their debate, that was the main conversation. Yes. All of them were, and they kept repeating COVID, Russia, Ukraine. COVID, Russia, Ukraine. Omunina say COVID and Russia, Ukraine has affected their economy. But we are an import-dependent country. Let's just say, yen dayamaya maya sa de pese yenya wo mai wem ni yenya enti se bebi ya yen kokra ya niam afiri no omo say COVID and Russia Ukraine nti omo no ma boa ye den na yen na yete ye fe ne say Ghana no ene ye beka say ye de ye hu bi da the effects of COVID is not only on Ghana it is on third world countries, it is on second world countries, and is on first world countries. Every country in the world is working to get themselves out of the COVID and the Russia-Ukraine situation.
And now how send yes yak by him, your speed in a year, baby a namely baby a fee, baby a baby speed in a year.
I think say we would have wished for more as a people. So I just say as on mine Timemufono, you done 10 times one kepe. But I'm over ye fixes our challenges in Nano. Now you make sure say your manner omunti ye breno omon kan tire fie
okay
nti ye krasi kanibi
okay
na de ahwe wo school
okay
ye ni nyina no na still ye krasi kanibi ade hwe hiafo ne ma no e wo colleges ni mu
okay
ye sade we nyina no na ye krasi kanibi e de ma nkran so omon fan ye factories e manyen ye ni nyina no na ye kra bi e ye akwan. That is why even though we've experienced 4 years of global economic challenges out of our 8 years, yeah, acquiring 11,974 kilometers. NDC for my experience global economic challenge, we are in 8 years, almost acquiring 4,600 kilometers.
Explain this to me. Acquiring some okay. Oram Hama says, oh, can't be a Muslim way no. I better say free air China. Na so why acquire best free air China there? Senka Kruma acquiring na kia any na.
Or also call Parliament. Eko Parliament say, and the video is a State of the Nations Address 2016, April February. Catch Roman say. Why you acquiring over 4,000 kilometers? Okay. Unim distance from here to UK.
Meaning,
inti senka sana ye kadi ankono
so na UK.
Okay. So inti Mahama no so we dey kada say about one ba politicians and throw near their film. Quite inti ono no the principle ne say on the throw. He said it.
Yeah.
Me ni say about what me transfer. I can tell you that's why Bibia make be me mind you know so.
Yeah.
Me transfer and find your politics. On the waka say on the job.
The frafra.
Or the frafra. So I just say inti sometimes we cast am hwe ono no cast I don't know, on one country is almost 4,000 kilometers away because a bit with the UK. and able to be the yako friend say even Nigeria you see does it make sense? Doesn't even add up. Say Ghana yako war SSA is over 90,000 kilometers of road. SSA yeah. It's 11,000 kilometers. Now can say that means yako China. In fact, me person still am say what he wanted to say. So I just say, would the hour buy na wow yeah na okaye. And then so ye dia aba bechere. Ya. Say we have 4,000 and another 11,000. Ya. But no any problem. Unya embre no. That's what you decided to use your money to do. Yeah, we have decided say in spite of the economic challenges, we'll fix the roads. In spite of the economic challenges, we have built more education infrastructure than the ADC did 8 years. In spite of the economic challenges, you see over 88 district hospitals. I'm a district or munibi. And we call mountains, Edukrum. Okay, district hospital. Okay. Nefe. To the extent that okay, for a dentistry.
I see.
Machines in you in the next few weeks, you back will be ano. Which government? Unim samofa. Until I get one. Now if we Madina ha. Ebesia eko okay. So Madina, Adenta, Equiapem North, Equiapem South, okay. Not district hospital, what's our district? Mako 5 in one pay. Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital. One. Into Beko Tetekwashi, and Pananos, Bangrofufi Madina, Echo, or Moko. Meanwhile, in our healthcare system, Yashishe, CHIPS compound, at the electoral area level, Ufiwa, now called health center, Ufiwa, now called clinic, Ufiwa, now called polyclinic, now called district hospital. Regional hospital and tertiary hospital. So every district must have a district hospital. Immediately you fail to provide a district hospital for every district, what you have done is you are creating room for people to go to 37 and Kolebu with headache.
How do you convince Ghana or say a project in the Amoy about the comedy?
And say, and then me know because in Crawford the car with you and so much realize with like TV.
Okay. Okay.
Manda light more, me to me at the power more. And so me do big car. Or tata me a but a prepaid nduma say me to prepaid. Okay. Obi ntua na ba school fees. School ya pamo akwala no. So ade sign no. Obeto prepaid apawa ne kanea. But say onimi say we nya kanea obetumi ada. Because wo ko amanase nkurase e hia amanase.
Kanea ni ho so
boda. Nti sa principle no so no. Odwen ho a wonti ase. The fact say accommodate me no enche say nso to amenante atechem. Say ye me kwan na mame. Nti the fact is that ye kwan ni bi ne ye de nhyehyɛ be ma ekom na de me no so be den egu akofam ne ye de nhyehyɛ be ma mapomoden nsem be koye nso ye den egu akwemu saa na ye kyekere oman ye nya baako enkonkoye baako ube ma medidi be wie no ne nsu afame kosa kwan ne nye medidi be wie no na mentumi mfifie enkonkoye adwuma kosa kwan ne nye eduane no kra wo se wo de be ma medi no eduane no ye de be fi enchi ye de be fi western north sehwe na de aba akwan ne nye nti duane kra no wo sika se den kra duane ntumi mfi enchi na ba bedun kra ma wedi on mind ye yeso ha ne yeso ha ye pia ne kakra.
This is just some questions I did lay table na fe na ye be kwa anim na ya hwe ne muade de omoni nko free 2025 aircraft kwan na wo lead o man Ghana na nipa kro no de na wo so man fo hwe free ni mu na ye ne no di nkoma no pay miracles. He speaks for Dr. Baumia campaign. Minia table na seti afi na ye ba nkomo no ankasa so ye koye nim 2025 a decision na ye taking. Why do you think that Dr. Baumia na was here to abamam?
Because on credit.
Okay.
Owo ahofama sonko ene ahobrasie sonko bima oman no. You see over Ghana pepe so edu sisi ano. Yentumi ma obi amfa na da entom fotwengu yeni. Esa de yesi painti and I'll take you on a very quick journey.
Course.
What kind of year 2000? MPP ba bengu no. Na Ghana ye we kwetadwani mu. In fact, na sika de bitu edwuma for kakra na bi ni.
Including fuel.
Yes. To the extent that this country was completely on its knees. Inti na esese ye ko abrochi ne ye kwasra mo say monfa yenka aman a omoye ohia boburo ho na monfa yenka yedai. And that was epic.
Yeah.
Until we had to declare ourselves a highly indebted poor country. Answer. You to mean your fiscal space. Need to me a hair home. Near Cheche mine. By the time of Mampenin could watch D Ghana name from 2000, copying 2008. Now Ghana, we've turned ourselves around. to the point that you say we're the golden age of business. That was the time now we fee. Now banks are befi say beje bosi akoye adwuma. Standard Chartered Bank, Fidelity Bank. No omo be pay cha Barclays Bank say emerges kan koye adwuma. In fact, na Ghana you say the gateway to Africa. We're the shining star of Africa. Ghana ha President Kofo na man hu say see to be far on mine isika e de bo obia ho akwama. Because you see say obey your mampenia. Na say one year the friend of social intervention policy amamia. What would happen is that we to be the mampeni 8 years, but a fair be woman, they will never experience your leadership.
Sure.
Because me,
sure.
Me tell her now be your mampeni 8 years. No one may be kumulate kwanya mame. Insu ni ho. Kani ni ho. We to be diako, but no one fa dia ba kumpo amba me menya so fa so. Me boa. What social intervention does is that anya hwe krampo no aban ne betwem akọ.
Me abran TV share ofri mo soro ha ya. Na me kura passport no bisa am say we na passport no. Esoro ha ya o.
Hu bi da.
Enti why airport anya.
Una say won krofo a ye obi ote eburia omba madina da. Obi ya won we eburia ma nanyi omba madina da. Enye news. You understand? Even madina ha ya when you say you obi ote social warfare a omba libya contest da. Obi to me at social warfare na bra bo nyina o me ye hwe libya contest. So when to me I'm for social intervention and bar, what would happen is that you will seclude some members of your society who would never experience your governance until you leave office. Because oh yeah, I we see rage hospital, but we see what rage. We see what okay. And see depend on what you do, no, and it's pine na no when you surgery problem about rage no. When you also fast we see terminal 3. Papa ya osi ohun passport dey ono obey don terminal 3 nti ono terminal 3 na osi no wenya so mfaso. But the social intervention policy no ensures that every Ghanaian everywhere in this country would experience that policy and benefit from it. Nti why you acquire school dan ya den nyina awie no wache na de going to be school dan nyina in 8 years unsi mi nsi hospitals nyina in 8 years untumi ye ka akwa nyina in 8 years. Nti the only way you nyina able to me benefit from Niamana watch channel through the social intervention. Into President Kofo the health insurance buyer. President Kofo the capitation buyer. Capitation ensured say every Ghanaian that you don't want my way, you know, in your access to basic education. We are not this school feeding crap peers, so send a bay here for mana, even though school near free, no, it's send a Bianan and Kolani Bedinti, no more want if you meet me a school Makudidi. The results at that time was that intake at the basic school at Trepoye. And my do baby cannot classrooms and Kolani Betim Comunia. Intina, Kofo the Hepixka, and started Society School, and you have a was a school dance where it's a Hepic initiative. We, and my national insurance buyer, and my cash and carry system are not NDC for the about. Who's cash and carry this in the bar, because until the late 80s in Ghana, your hospital free. NDC in the late 80s, and a day cash and carry about my way. Into President Kofo by my way, no, near cash and carry to the extent that Sabe, car ball or quite when they do hospital. Doctors better to go to my business cash or go to baby no one age on way. But President Kofo yi cash and carry free what the health insurance buy. Wa manas wa edu baby na gada ye kan ye budget for parliament. Kwesi botwe professor e kan maternal mortality rate. E ma omo kwa wo so. Esa say na just say would sika ko hospital answer uko wa ya hell. President Kofo ko fa policy ye friend free maternal care buy. E ma maternal mortality rate ye den ye gi free ho. E ma nei say wo fefu na wo ko hospital nko on time nko dia ye be hwe na wawo afa wo ho afa wo ba. In spite of Sani Meya mebobo so yina yi amfa wo be kai say you do the year 2008 no President Kofo nya problems mienu onya water shortage and na kofa Kofo gallon buy no because yeah Labondi cantonment is Legon na Ghana folk cry yellow gallon no penso adom so kai Kofo nya another challenge fuel price shortage. That was the timer. You are shorting fuel to the sense of petrol 1 gallon at all. About AQ. A whole day, 2 days after 1 gallon at all. And what's to cry no gallon no the day you remember. It's son is all how you know ain't it. Only anything for you. They realize none of which rubber. Go for complaining because immediately fuel prices are short here. Across from Quadia, near my bobby. It's a California from June 2008 no. On my name by year day. nkofo mo be chi omo nsuo ko menum kwa na ehon ayeden and then this for shares here oh Ghana for ahon kira be die this is the time you be pini MPP aban oh omo ya kronfo nkwa omo wia go the World Bank of Ghana nyina de akwa brichide hwe omo bank statement ADB bank statement NIB ya fa ken Japan omo so we wieska ego ADB NIB Richard Anna Nshweska we wia Dr. Dofo Hweska we Dr. Adokofo Hweska we wia it say omo se kofo na penifo ya kronfo kofo cry to we oye dwama mbofo oni maami bi e fe ne gize ya dia ko wontafo Paul and Peter yentu abenti ya omo
Paul and Peter
okay we tell the wawa
make pa
any ade nti strategically no they picked on the emotions of the people sometimes no kre na o man ni ma yeden nti ya fe na obaba ka che nipa ne se me na me dey health insurance buy you me na me dey capitation buy you me na me dey on fa ho e dia no so so no pa trotro boy dey because fuel prices cost for was struggling no me dey turning kontompo 19 musa Ghana for sure almost Ghana for bufu na ye to about MPP aban that was the time Nana Dondan Kweku for that start here all preaching about free senior high school because the Nana do e Kenya na say Mr. Send your former basic school are free, no. Among Colano numbers now add triple. Your secondary schools in this way, it's designed to hold a certain number. Now, Nipa no ye hear me, and a basic school year free to be cool BT. Still obey him, and so wait to me up for secondary school. Intimation. My secondary school education, so you're ye free. In spite of Sunny Mao, Nana Kufado Kayan, Yenti, because now end this front row, and why a thing. Emotions, no, so we voted against MPP for 8 years. For 8 good years. This is what happened. Each of the successors are on mine year and Akufo in a share. For their dollar, $1 $1. On the call, bear 4 cedi, 80 pesos, 5 cedi. For capitation, na the business school. No. As at the time, we move here, na be 3 times. Omuntu ya ba akompo nkola chalk cry the betro nkola di school kra no na bi ni ho omu ka kire PTAs omu nkoto chalk nkola no health insurance no omu gu no to the extent that kofo okono the number of people no more health insurance no NDC abreso 1.5 million Ghanaians e yom hu free so financial sector na me say kofo under kofo time omu buy a whole fie which is true
it's
as at the time NDC kona financial sector na gu to the extent that Upe Usikaji wa GM Bank, Upe Usikaji wa Unibank, and I say Unisecurity, Ombe catcher will say Sikeni ho, Ombe catcher will say system cut down. Ube do what we see be 2 days as a amount half. Ube 50,000, say benya 10,000 amount. To the point that on Mampeni Mahama Efa on my Misika, and the banks says a monjira monjo some way to me the abuamu 3 occasions for some of the banks. Omo to me a banks in Guye. And on Mampeni Mahama. Financial sector now for CC na na can 17 84 microfinance companies eno mugu no 84 microfinance companies eno mugu no so it tells you how bad this government was at the time but in all of this you know one fan to with say omobedu 2016 no na dumso aba to the point that this country was completely on its knees. Situation now kofo fix yaman over the period now among mine kwen anim they eroded everything within the 8-year period. Nkofo nyuma eguye. Nkofo eda theater epon so ayehwe mo ne edum kane a omo wuwuye. Ehiafo ma omo ko college, teacher training college, nursing training college a omo di allowances ebom ho akwa ama no matumi akono. Ye gifri omunsem. Teacher for the nurse for omo wie secondary omo wie college a ese for omo adwuma no 2013 2014 2015 2016 ye inform because o man ye broke to employ these teachers. Omo muti ye a ye form kakra no o ye adwuma 1 year ni ye ntua ne kaye. Nyame ya adom na sa o man ne ka se ye betua ne ka Mahama ban say even though we adwuma 1 year no ye niska nti betua ka 3 months. In Kola, over 100,000, and na afibia, omu wie BC ya, na omu ntumi nko secondary school. Esa niyama mienu pe. yedi kan school adan a ɛwɔ hɔ a ɛsɛ nkola no kom no ɛnɔso de toso mienu ehiafoɔ no omubotom enye ntontumi ntua ne ba ne school fees. In fact omampeni mahama nkasa in parliament ekokan say in 2016 kan say secondary education has become very expensive, so the poor could not attend. Meanwhile secondary education and as education pay and they provide a platform ema ohie ni ba eni osike ni ba etumi tena dan ba akomu. And yet wickedly former president mahama ni na ban eja nkola 100,000 etirefie afibia. By the time ye ba be do 2016 no na health insurance na president ko for the buy no me go no. Now fast forward, MPP Aban had to come back to power in 2017. 8 years later mofa, and adie bia president ko for ye bia no ye buy no ma say no. Instead of say and combine be call any 3-4 times from baby president ko for ye no ya san ye 2 times. Into about 2017 no president Kofo asefo ese say ye san yembre na ye san be siesie niam na o ma say ni nyina say nya opportunity ase ya den akoye nim. The same people health insurance na ya na de ba o magu no ese ye fix it. Nkola education yi almost over 1 billion children o magu on the streets.
Okay.
Because they cannot afford. Okay, omo ya advert create here free senior high school. Kai say ye see school adan nyina wie ya yentumi mani ye free. They just say, you see school down in a dining area, in your form man can't fee, Nessica for man school. This is how this country was run under them. Now, you buy, you know, so you be a mojenisa, the CSC, near man or my son. I didn't care my young crime yet twice in the year 2008 and Quebec, or my son, and you bring a mojenous CSC. The CSC in the year 2020, yeah, Nibenya, Aquasia true comedy. After you answer, you baby blame me and beam. Into what I am saying,
I said they see 2008. I repeat it.
The same thing. Into the upper womb, cover all the tapes in 2008 in Abonashe. In some more kind, push out take ye, no more year, and no one paper no more year 2024. Hoping that economic challenges are obvious, which is a fact. So we are going through economic challenges now. Hoping that no is what Ghanaian people will hold on to it and knock the MPP out for them. But the Ghanaian people should remember, say, in spite of the economic challenges, we have kept the light on. Okay. In spite of the economic challenges, in Kolano, you be antenafi, 2 years school fees mano. In spite of the economic challenges, colleges for no being where I didn't allowances free in some mano. In spite of the economic challenges, your fat teacher for in 8 years saying buying beer in 8 years. In spite of the economic challenges, your father is a 4 you saying buying beer. In spite of the economic challenges, your for police for this soldier for immigration for see a. In spite of the economic challenges, you have 11,000 kilometers of road, almost 4,000 kilometers of road. In spite of the economic challenges, you see district hospital, and districts be only be across the country, and that is the biggest difference between us and the NDC. Until all we're saying is this: Mumma your opportunity no. Near Dr. Mahmoud Bamia and Tuaso. Now on board the Yetumia and Hobain, no cre. And yen yamani nina ni yetu miye. Akado dry wakwa isisi ye no into me. But ya mwa no ho ban na de bufuo ehye mu na yetie ndisi phone training kontompo na yi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia efiwa. Ye bese ne say just as it happened between 2009 and 2016. 8 years down the line, maybe you say ya brand MPP sign brand ebe ba no mo gu free senior high school no. Ye be ba na health insurance no ma say no kodu oto. Ye ba na nkola do mo gya tena fie no bebre kwa. You be banana hospital CSC emergency because I'll tell you what, President Kofo started RAZ projects, hospital projects, okay.
Konongo kumewu
konongo se wa ne sani menye. Who himself for the 8-year period na in this ba be mo, not a single of these Kofo hospitals no we. They had to take us the same Kofo the Nanado to come and complete project Kofo. So clearly the evidence is there. Say, ya mad Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and to us no we are. Just as they did to the RAZ hospitals, they will do the same to the Agenda 111 hospitals. We know evidence. Usure obay na kire sene ye betu me den esusu.
Some MPP from why he 8 years. Is it about motions and answer den and ebe mo bi aka se mo why he.
Possible. Say ye ho be ye hi. Enuanom create na fia. Sem to kwatu me ba. In fact, ubisa ware for power no mo ka no kra kire wo pa o meka je say to de bia utumi so say me hu nipa ba ko ni mu a me ntu kwan kakra that's why even marriage counselors will tell you say mo ware a mo a mo ntu kwan na mo di 2 days 3 days na mo say environment kakra nti it is possible very very possible obi ko to me ka say me consider me nu ifiti ase no na me ye fine but say so wo me no mu nipa ho won fono possible but amofa ye fono na ye hwe and I should say ye da che na ye hwe and that is why in all humility about to you say yeah my emotions in ye adwuma ye beto ye boase ye de ahobrase a kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm no mu ye nyi ni say ye nko na wiase nyansa nyina we etrim ye nyi ni say ye nko na bibia we nti but between MPP ni NDC nko ade ye gidi say ye ndie ye nyansa ndoso so omo de between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Dramani Mahama nko ade ye di say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye better than John Dramani Mahama nti ankabe ya ye ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia opportunity no na on to us when free baby ya ba bedue na de yetumi ya no mbɔ ho ban na de aka no kra yentumi nya nwie ye no because na inflation ko 54 ya pema be do 23 ko egu so ko nanim nti e kyese ye no ye wo ekwan ye be fa so ye betumi abrade na sa ye de akofam but no for the entire 4 years out na ban mu no not a single time you know the inflation back down even 1% ni nyina o de kosoro nti of 8% de ko 15%. Even na say ka say the inflation kwa na yesu kra yetumi ka say better than John because of 8 they go 15 ya no ye pia every 15 and akọ 20 3 years saying by the time you do December na be 20 and 18% no you would have realized there be a 5% and a 4% pen area there ye dey aka ho but we have at least shown say a cost ra yetumi ye dey e de bafem but you have no record of ever bringing it down it is how ko jashe nsem na obviously you are expecting it to keep going.
I didn't mind this forecast Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ope be or trofo pie on one India.
Minim se mo maka ba ko kwachewa. Minim de nti o mo kasa mate. In fact, omo share throw articles say na be ya online algorithm but you see o kai so omo kan say Nana Danko Akufo-Addo Pemba or ye wi smoker.
Okay. Yeah, me kai.
O kai so omo kan say President Kofo ene gize yazi akogbo edwaman awo mama o tempo. Say chena na obi hu Peter Mpo le nimu a. It's been how many years? Over 16 years. Peter Mpo, what to say Peter Mpo bi ho. Nti o kai say ene general secretary of the NDC. Fifi Kwete ko kai say President Kofo na be wia gold in e Bank of Ghana nyina.
Sure.
Emma okọ Vertin as minister na omo kan won so won de na Kofo na kan no kai bi.
Yeah.
Nti omo de
Honorable Atachi and Ebisa.
Nti omo de you can be rest assured say ono okọ akensi oni nyina so bia ogidi say monto abama no nti ono ne strategy na say me say why e beto mame and this for my campaign plan no destroy my opponent then I get the vote what is MPP for NDC fashion that turbo bo ase pa actually policy papa bia ase ba kobo nkoko bo nkete mnante ne maba ne me party for ye ba ye beto nkoko bo ne nkoko nkete amamo na maye omo to ano maton kosia ne kakra aka na manye sika omo nyi ano maton nkoko no se na edwuma na hye because they don't have a proper policy plan in it no omo strategy and say yengu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho fi ye say ni din a ne ho be ye hi na Ghana fa to abama ye enye say Ghana fo ntoma ye because he was superior authority friend say policy but Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is clear o che de obey for education sector or say me bo free senior school no ho bai me make sure say Ghana ni bi ni wo ko secondary school betua na ne ma aka sisi ye free senior school dan sisi si bi ka ho ne ade no ya ye bi aka ho Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuano mo di dem persons with disability no omo nyina be ko secondary school for free omo ko tertiary university ni polytechnic ni colleges for free Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuano no mo ko tertiary na ene digitalization ti omo ye Zoom class omo ye PowerPoint presentation no every university would be given the necessary support to get a laptop say be bo omo adwuma omo adesua Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia aka to say Mineral Development Bank beba na be bo small scale miners no mutumi am mine omo concession no mutu agudie na ye de mine sika cedi ato na de abake ye currency no my way mu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne fisher folks e di nkomo a church omo say sa fishing harbors na ye si ni bebre any landing site na aban we ye si ni bebre si aban bia no obeka bom na wa build the cold rooms any cold facilities at these fishing harbors say na be ya epofo no omo nam ne ye den and say no menya baby di den ahye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obe training 1 million youth in IT related programs say na be ya digital jobs here abeya and na obi to India and so na the company ye adwuma wom e wa America no yes ye ma no e betuma ye den enye biaye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obe make sure say ne credit scoring system a okwa abrochi a obi pe phone ato a on hia pay kinkran sa wato on nante ko ne telco company ho a na yama ne phone no we twa ne kakran no o de bi bo man yimu na Ghana phone so etumi ayeden enye bi opa konwa ato opa wo phone ato opa TV ato ade bi a wo to pay ato bi ano because of the credit scoring system ninti you betumi the amount na we twa ne kakran Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say businessmen no mo ye business for my way mu ojitum say taxes no edoso but the entire in the past any recent time taxes na doso nyina ne say nipa dodo omutua eto na de na ye noso nti nipa kakra bi na etua to de hwe o man ni nyina nti ese ye de bi count say de bi am betua mo but any because of the digitalization nti a threat tax net nim a be tax net nim nti nipa dodo etua taxes na ba be doso nti mra so say ye bet taxes no so nti nei ye port duties no for importers ni nyina no obey na flat rate now what port duties no so ma na be from crowd than in neighboring countries Togo and Ivory Coast empo anya hwekrampo ene na nyepe that is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is preaching to the business community non-formal sector at the pemuni wa we yeti mechanic Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say esa ne say wote kokrantumi a wo ba register general e be ye de ama wa forms bebre nti o register wo business le Sawo mechanic shop no so one register e be den say ubenya credit facility and ubenya loan bi dia tire wadwumanum wo ye mechanic wo pe jack ato wo ye mechanic wo pe vulcanizer machine here de share from me wo pe bi ato wo niska no nti ga obetumi akoje bosia na wo de share wadwumanum na nka wo tua ne kakrakra but instead say we non formal sector one register wo business one ye hwenti obi an ni word ne sika be den e be ma wo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say or the short code eba wo fa wo phone na wo bo star say hash na wo send it san say wo Ghana card information wo ho dadenti wo bo Ghana card na ma ne hye mu a niam ye hi nyina ebeba system nim na wo bo company nim a wo pese wo use the company nim no be use ya na ma wo approval na wo register wo company on your phone you are a registered entity you have a Ghana card which is your tax identification number you can now walk into any financial institution and say my name is Amofa. My company Amofa Mechanic Engineering Shop. Me here bosia na me de akoto organizer machine. Me here bosia na me de akoto jack na me de atre medwubem. That is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is promising the barber, the hairdresser, the mechanic, any informal sector person. And these are specific alternatives. Oh, preachy. I'm a question. Cause what's Mahama there?
Mente.
Intended into Obama. The only thing Mahama catch a Ghana for you and say. Monto abama me because MPP for the almost on by number month to my nyina na mo family say asem
we are sense why
ye nyina ye say ye buy ye be near 20 me buy ye no me ma ye 18 no kre me ntumi ye 2 because ye akwan say o education ye better say o health ye better say o industrialization ye pe any aban since 1992 ye to me the deliberate strategies ato akwan mu a ye ne yankrankra ka bom a ye bi fortunes makomako be 321 and then when say automobile companies makomako 8 almost assemble Ghana cars for Ghana Kia Toyota Nissan several companies 8 of them and they assemble cars e wo my way mu a ye export because neighboring countries so I just say enti ye ne ma bebre esen yomo dem we have challenges in the macroeconomic indicators we ba ye no niema 20 no wo ye mu miensa ye ba ye mu edu wotwe wo de wo say wo na wo ye niema no emu miensa no ye nto ababa wo ne ye nto ntie nipa no no ye niema no edu wotwe out of 8 20 no does it add up wo na wo beje ehia for allowances free say omunsem no ye nto ababa wo ne ye nto tia de ode allowances ne ba ye no wo ja nkola wo buy 100,000 tina fie every year omuntumi nko secondary school no ye nto ababa wo ni entuntie nipa onu tua school fees me hia for me to me biko no
but as manufacturer few messages
wa wo ba ya wo ton wo manufacturers mako 300 who say MDC they sold 300 state owned
and for so per list mo fa mra
about media e wo media to abonte me to me ahia mo 300 most of sorry ya wo hu odolu ni na factories omo ton factories say chupa chops omo ton factories say tomatoes who say TV3 na your mine there omo ton ma Malaysia for bi and no more fa eche no more that is how bad they can be. O say, yen to abama wa o ton mine factories 300 no. Ni yen to ntia de ono de factories 300 aye den abano. No cre. Dodo na MPP aban ye tumi aye. Be ye jutum. aka nneɛma bi ɛsɛ sɛ yɛyɛ in the macroeconomic sector in all intent and purpose no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛbɛto deɛ yɛtumi ayɛ no akyene sɛ yɛbɔ ho ban whilst we pursue some macroeconomic indicators na aka no na me deɛ mede m'ani ho deɛ mede maso ate dia me carry Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Mahama me muso do mo sete na I am clear in my mind say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be the best person a obebo niam yetumi aye no ho ban na we di enim akwa into the future to lead us to achieve the ones that are
but before then a few messages na to us. So the main task of government is creation of wealth for the people, is about expanding the economy and giving employment for the people. In the course of doing this, you may encounter inflation and currency instability. The points I gather from Dr. Bawumia's UPS addresses is domestication and method of financing. I'll expect him and the party to carry the people along this approach and let them stop this ritual spillage of dams. Please give me my opinion. But sometimes it's not how bad inflation is beaten, but what we can do with inflation and currency depreciation. Martin Luther Olaboni, he says, miracle, despite this monumental project in the road sector, the marine object like Jamestown and others, if we don't showcase them on all the media platforms for the good people of Ghana, this becomes of essence. Again, the NDC state capture strategy must be guide against. Medasi. Mura Solomon Kwe says, regards to Honorable Miracle Aboagye, I have his number. I called him last Friday, but he didn't pick nor return the call. I sent him a WhatsApp message, but he did not reply. I have some suggestions. Okay, Rasulomon Kwe, Mati, Obia, Obefro. Me Kaimo said, near Ekoso, Parliament House, media budget, never pick it into Kainashan and so. If people want to compare our level of indicators such as the inflation, have they also compared the death row of the countries being compared with in relation to the effects of COVID-19? Just suppose this with President Nanado's asserting that we know how to bring back the economy, but not the dead. Well, meanwhile, resources used to preempt deaths affected the health of the economy. But truly, the economy is now improving and fast improving. Okuseku ewadamfa and our also the way by other messages. This one says, we will be a when ni jinia hodu emefie kama ho we hear say utie me ye Franco Trading Enterprise. One more phones ahodo nyina bi. One more smart TV, one more tabletop fridges, air condition, chest freezer, washing machine. The type will be our open on Sabe cabin. And then the other can we CCTV cameras. This is why I know Kayashan so pebito na fatimi monitor fee or jumem empo okem Sabea BBC. Now dear man ya corona say camera see our video and a sound audio. Yeah, we bet me use the time the main office no other braka on the rock the cinema and share any sound so. And as I call online, francotraining.com, BBI come and Edia, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I'll party or Honasi and family will fear and your problem. And one say, yeah, or location, no, not Edia Bro will fear, Free Franco 0246 422 0246 422 Kaina Shannon. So, another explosive content, on a 2 TV, so inside Ghana. Na host na Uswado Frank Kaina Shannon so Franco the hitter and adodo no a efre kai se baso no so empem kopem no nkno mpemu anwumre bia ifiada enti ifiada edi animu no akai na wa Shannon so de amame. Keep watching the 2 TV beyond the limit and also Shannon so na fama opani anope yensa kan no ene di nkomo no Ekasa edema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign. Miracle, idea nebesesa from 2000 Benina President Rollins Adaroma NDC for up north. Yato abebia MPP nyabi, but still no omato ama NDC. Still no omato ama NDC. Even 2020 kura na free SHS aba no. Omoni yen de boss ho. Ma ohun se MPP appreciate it. This election wo hwe ni mo say bibi besesa kese pa.
I think say Ghana for enye so hu bebre. I can tell you, ye call round that ye tie ni ade na Ghana for enye so hu bebre. Omo Ghana for ayo madwen say ye ma Dr. Mahmoud Bamia sa akonya no.
Okay.
Now for the first time, you try 8 years here. Ye ma na akonya na on toa so. Ni ye hwe dia obetumi dia ka ho. Because of some long story na me ma woni nti. Almost sua bebre film say na enei sin free high school ya ye hyehye nyanwie ya yeguso a ye tenetene. Wo be dia kwhye ndc fonse mu a. Eni no we di kan ka so no so kura 2 billion and conference free high school. We di kan ka so in fact ono ne mpeni for ka say free high school no it doesn't make sense. Omo di kan omo kan say ade no kura kwa me nkoma ne Soviet Union ntumi anya no then e che say MPP betumi aya. O say he doesn't see why as I say yema obi etu obi ekọ school free. Inti with all intent and purpose utumi hu say ade no ba or ne sabeka ne kakra. Ekọ we fa so de ne sabeka ne yenim. But si etie do kan de yetumi conclude say why ha ade no be pipe mu. Because oka say be me na me Chris Kadan ka me mfa hye mu a. Oka say me hu de ntia say obi etumi kọ free ntia bi mu ntua na emebu mu ntua. Clearly no as a winya ya senior identity no we don't sabe kakra and Ghanaians don't want to go through that. Oba ya kwan 4,000 obi abay 11,000 ade ne emsai ma won be Ghana
for person be kom no we dey na ho ye
o say a call round.
Okay.
O say a call round say yen so far even though Dr. Mahmoud Bamia you know barely 6-7 months ago no one nante Ghana has saying your mama no atena opposition 7 years. O ya call round yate and only say before you best start a campaign so no. So Dr. Mahmoud Bamia is stakeholder engagement. Only almost every group in the country share. And I'll be so say answer no be kwakwa constituency campaign you know. Or call round that only a software share on nananom share na dey only nakasa. And we've heard they don't want to make that mistake. I can tell you say we be beat NDC for in this election with the strategy on doing homonti as here.
First round victory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because we're not for 5 northern regions. Omo beto about Dr. Mahmoud Bamia one time. So omo nuanu mienu na. Omo ne omo kwakon omo esi akan. But Dr. Mahmoud Bamia me no ka say what $100 million project. I find Soko. Akoma 48 districts in the north. And you know Ghana ha ope miaya ohia buburu pa northern Ghana ka ho. I provided intervention in the rural areas in the northern Ghana. Then a John Mahama de come home. When we yendi kwine. The Tamale Airport. Then a John Mahama, His Excellency de come home. Kwahwe Damongo, kwahwe Savannah region. Yat region. Savannah for status of Ope region. Kwame Nkrumah mreso. Northeast. Wale ni Gambaga focus on Ope region. Nalerugu focus on per region. And yene.
Tamale Airport, say phase 2, but phase 1 say John Mahama na.
Oh, na say eno dey change bi eno. And then I said terminal 3 yom ken say esi ko to kana John Mahama DHS. Okay. But so the wawa no anambo. Intend dey change bi eno. But then ye na yama na international car plane betumi fly from New York about Tamale Street. Okay. So what I say. Inti the evidence is quite clear say omo nua ba omia na say omo to ba mana enua no mienu no. And we are going to win the northern sector. Okay. Volta region, we need 2 seats. Abeka ho. Oti region, we be 3 seats ababeka ho. Eastern region, we be a seat be mienu miensa ababeka ho. Inti and sanema we nyina no in all humility ho brase mu no. Simply because Ghana fire your mind said Debbie, we will not fall for deception again. Because between you and NDC no, NDC when they transfer, say, yejitum. Bebe ne aye. But don't so na aka ye ntumi ye no kre say inflation ye je to be say inflation sem na say ye hwe na ye du hudwuma dollar sem ye na me buy say me no ndi hu achinje ha bomo no what is the alternative what is their solution record ben pan no de ba against the in the next elections and that's why Ghanaians will vote against them
enyama hodo aye koso ya strike kakra ya wo why affect him.
Oh, it will affect you. Since in a so no. In a bar, and penny for said home common. You see, there's one distinctive factor about this government. Young must fall. Okay. strike he be na John Mahama Mbreso na your workers why you join funu. Nti on show second. Strike. I say in my term I have seen so much strike that strikes don't scare me anymore. In fact, 2016 around this time, Dr. Fokai say on my head into mo aketuan tumu. Okacho mo say on no negotiation be. But we are not doing that. Yeah,
and now monitor a Parliament House. Me of course Bamba be MP no. What's your take on that?
Yes, you answer.
Okay.
It would never happen in the history of this country. Say Ghana for a big mistake. Niaka say, yes, split parliament. And this is for your man boy for. I can tell you, say, about 50% of your economic woes and acquire parliament. About back when you this for first sabotage your mind through parliament. Embrace, I say a pass. Secure, I see to me, shame, run to me, and them. No matter train, so no man come home to qua, a go home pay. Almost to me threaten investors, if you are breaching, but say, Adia mobile baby, mobile baby, yeah, baby, my entry.
Is it China?
Oh, yes, even World Bank, near the not to crown matro,
and some
any idea. It will never happen again. And that's why I can tell you without any doubt. And a lot of the MPs, they are going to lose their seats. Omu minor. And omu ye pesemi nkumnya. Omu shada de to mutim say, in split parliament there, or minor mbo, a boy any minya so fast. Me say a lot of our economic woes, as a result of our bambag when acquire our first or manage parliament, any NDC for. If they had only been a bit, omu ye patriotic, a crabia, a boy minor, a crabia. And won't be in the situation we are in.
Yeah, Brenna, so when the president handed over 320 housing units at the Ghana Police Service, I don't know if
we cry first time.
Yes,
so you do oh yeah. Now, Nema, I buy we are Yama security services here. Say, now you are helicopters police for. You are to police for your drones, sir. Maybe because what over to be police headquarters, not drone them we
no more monitor.
And if you a police for PM, she a cast in a whole door idea police for no nyama idea bem. We see crab so a traffic light be a bedu as biano. Police crowd will be police for me and some mujina. She motorbikes see. Omo nam no motorbikes no moto show no boy ho ban. E yen kakra. Me ntra han ka say ya ma na broso. Atanya hwe krampo no. Anya hwe krampo no. Ye show work and say si enya kwan to aso a ye betumi aye bia eden aka.
Oniameda say Miracle speaks for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer, New Patriotic Party.